Hi, my name's Kate. I am a high school math teacher at the beginning of my 19th year of teaching. Today, I thought that I would take you guys along for a day in my life. The first period that I teach today is college algebra. So college algebra is like the typical pre-calculus class. That first semester, I teach it all year. So they don't get into the trig side of the pre-calculus, it's just the college algebra side. So the first thing that my college algebra kids are doing is working on a warm-up. So we just learned and reviewed finding domain from an equation. So the kids are going to work on a warm-up with that. They really struggled with that third one where it doesn't have the fraction, it doesn't have that even root, and so it's just all real numbers. So they struggled with that, so made sure to throw that on there. And then we are going to be simplifying, multiplying, and dividing rational expressions today. All of this is review. They should have seen this in Algebra 1 and Algebra 2, so we're really just reviewing it today. And then the kids are going to work on a multiplying and dividing rational expressions maze. So I've got a set of mazes that's got simplifying, that's got adding, that's got adding and subtracting, multiplying, dividing, I believe a mix on a TPT. So that's where this one came from. So if you guys are interested in this, I'll leave this in the description below. So that's what I have first block. My second block is my plan period. Now on my plan period, I do have another teacher that uses my classroom. And so during that time, I will be in our math office, hopefully getting some stuff done. During third block, I've got college algebra again, so we'll be doing the same activity that I do in my first block. And then my fourth block, I have pre-calculus, and they are going to first start out with this warm-up. So they've already done all of the rational expression stuff. We did the simplifying, multiplying, dividing, and adding, subtracting all in one period. So we're going to just do a quick warm-up review on that, and then they are reviewing solving inequalities. So we're going to start out with compound inequalities, and then we'll go to quadratic inequalities, and they're going to be looking at how to graph those, but then talking about how to represent their answers in interval notation. And when I teach the quadratic inequalities, we use a sign chart method, and so they just look at the signs of the different factors throughout the number line to decide where to shade. So that's my plan today. It's pretty early, it's almost 7:30 in the morning. Kids don't get in until just after 8. So I've got an hour before class officially starts, but I like to get in early just to get a few things done. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip the camera around and try to get some things done this morning. I start off each class period with these slides up for my students just to give them some information. So I always list the do now, what I want my kids to do when they walk in the room. Still working on getting them to do number 2 before they do number 3. So they pick up the warm up when they come in, and then immediately they want to start working on it and they forget to get those supplies. Still a work in progress. And then upcoming, I just list kind of when their tests and quizzes are, so that they have that. Those are also listed on Canvas. And then just that today, what we're doing, and then I always have just a stupid little meme for them. So I do like these up, so at least the kids aren't constantly asking, what are we doing today? And then hopefully I can get them trained to get those tasks completed when they come in, so that when we need the paper or the calculator, I'm not then having to wait for 30 kids to get up and grab that calculator because they already have it. Okay, so factoring our numerator, this one should be fairly easy if we can recognize that difference of 2 squares. So our numerator factors to what? Once we factor, now we need to look for a common factor. So we are trying to find something in our numerator that is exactly the same as our denominator. What do we see in the numerator that's the same as our denominator? When we do that, we are left with x plus 1 in the numerator, x plus 2 in the denominator. So I'm on my plan period. I'm talking super quiet because I am in our math office and our math science office, and we do have many people that are in here on their plan period today. So here's just a quick little look at my little area that I have. And my plan is I've just got a list of things that I need to do to make sure that I am ready for the start of next week. So I try to spend the end of my week getting ahead for next week so that next week I am ready to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some work done. Okay, so I've got about 20 minutes left on my prep. I always have a, you know, a nice big long list of things that I hope to accomplish, and I've accomplished 2 things. That's okay. Getting there. Some of those things are just, you know, like catching up on grades. I do need to do that. Putting a rubric in Canvas for a project that I need to grade. I don't even have the projects. I don't even have the rubric with me, so can't do it on my prep period. You know, that's the downfall to having your plan period not in your classroom. I was also going to work on plans for pre-calc for Tuesday, Wednesday, and the only binder that I brought with me was my college algebra, so I don't even have my curriculum binder for pre-calc, so I decided I'm just gonna, you know, do what I can. So, you know, need to figure out how I can be most productive, most effective on these plan periods when I don't have my classroom. So maybe that's bringing down, I know I need to work on college algebra and pre-calc, so bring down that stuff in the morning. I don't know, I'm gonna figure it out. I'll eventually get there. So I'm on my lunch period now. I'm enjoying some gorgeous sunshine from my windows. I absolutely love having windows in my classroom when there are no kids in here. I have my blinds open, lights off. It's amazing. So anyway, after my prep, I had 30 minutes of my second college algebra class. So we got through the warm-up, questions on the homework, and then we just barely started our notes. In fact, we just got through the simplifying rational expressions, and then they have lunch. And then after lunch, we'll finish the notes and all of that. So yeah, I'm gonna eat lunch. Just wanna show you guys, I have a salad today. This container, if you've seen other day in my life videos, I talk about this all the time. This little bento container is seriously amazing. It's got the fork in the top, and then it's got a compartment for all of your toppings, and then the salad underneath. There is a container right here for dressing. I don't use that, I just bring a bottle of dressing, and then I've got some raspberries and blackberries as well. So I'm going to enjoy my lunch, and then yeah, just kind of relax a little bit, and then you get back to teaching. What would we do with this problem? 3/5 divided by 1/2. So, and I heard some of you guys kind of whispering that keep, change, flip, right? Okay, so most of your elementary teachers did teach you the keep, change, flip. While I like that, I don't like it because it's not teaching you guys mathematically what we're doing, okay? So again, don't need to write this. If we talk about that keep, change, flip, so we're keeping what?
The first fraction.
The first fraction, so that stays. Change, what does change mean? Okay, so we are going to multiply by something. So when we say flip, what does that mean? We're gonna flip our fraction. Somebody else needs to start answering. We are all tired of hearing from a certain person. All right, so we are going to keep the first one, change it to multiplication, and we're gonna flip. What do we call that when we flip the fraction? Okay, so this is why I don't like kind of those little tricky, let's come up with the butterfly method and all of those things. Again, it's not your guys' fault because that's what your teachers taught you. But understanding the math and the vocabulary is something that we are going to do a lot of. Because I'm not going to tell you keep, change, flip. I'm going to say multiplied by the reciprocal. And you need to know what that means. I'm going to multiply by reciprocal means I'm going to flip the fraction. We are going to solve using what we call sign charts. Okay? So if you have another method that you remember from last year, great. I want you still to listen to this one so that you can see it and understand it, and then you can pick which way you think works better. But at least so you've had exposure for more than one if you need. If my number has to be less than 0, my number has to be what kind of number? Negative, right? And I know that because my inequality says less than, and ignore our equal sign, less than 0. So if my number has to be less than 0, I know that my number has to be negative. So we're just going to keep in mind that this is telling me that I need to think about negative numbers. But I need to decide, am I shading over here? I don't know. Am I shading in the middle? Am I shading to the left? We don't know where we're shading in. So we are going to test some points. But all we really care about are the signs, okay? So I want to pick a number that's to the left of 2. What number to the left of 2 is the easiest number to use? 1, there's an even easier number, 0. Anytime we can use 0, let's use 0 because it's always going to be the easiest. And then we're going to use this up here. This is why we need to write this. We're going to use this. So if x is 0, 0 minus 3 is what? Negative 3. All I care about is the sign of that. I don't care that it was a negative 3 versus a negative 5 or a negative 1. I don't care. I just care that it was negative. So what we're going to do above our number line here is we're going to just put in parentheses a negative. That just tells me that first parenthesis, that number would have given me a negative number. Now, when I plug that same 0 into my second parenthesis, is that going to give me a positive or a negative number? Negative, right? 0 minus 2, negative 2. So that's going to be a negative number. So I'm going to put a negative. My second parenthesis was a negative. Again, don't care the number itself, just care that it was negative. When I multiply my two numbers together, negative times negative, what kind of number do we get? Positive. I don't care that it was positive 5 or positive 6 or whatever. I don't care. I just care that it was positive. Now, if we look back here, when I multiplied my two numbers, it needed to be what kind of answer? Negative. But when I plugged in 0, I got what kind of answer? Positive. Is that what we wanted? No. So this is not what we wanted. We wanted it to be negative, and it didn't. It gave us a positive number. Again, I don't care that it was positive 6 versus positive 12, just that it was positive. And that's it. My day is over. I hope you guys enjoyed this day in my life video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you are interested in following along more with my journey as I teach, please subscribe. I do upload videos every Friday, but you can hit that notification bell to be notified the next time a video goes live. I hope you guys have a mathy day. Bye.